Hi there and welcome to my video, which is aimed at people who would like to make a reasonably good attempt at their first video. So it's not a tutorial, I'm not a teacher, I'm just a guy who makes videos as a diary memory of what I actually do. So you're looking at a particular software package which is called VideoPad Video Editor, which is I think about £25 to buy, or what's that in dollars, $18 or something like that. You would need to keep your eye on the stock market and the world recession to work out the price, but enough of that. What I want to do is show you how to make a video using still photographs from your camera. Now in this case I'm looking at five photographs. So we go over to the media list in this particular package. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a homemade video I've made already from the 5 photographs, which is this blue section. So I've already made what I would have produced a couple of years ago as my little memory of my trip to this particular tourist location. Over here in the green section I've taken the same 5 photographs and completely transformed this little homemade video. But before we go any further, let's let you have a look at the homemade video, which is 5 photographs. Before we look at it, forget the preview pane for a number of reasons. It's a low definition, quick snapshot look at what you're doing, and these black borders are not how the video is going to look at in terms of the top and bottom. Okay, it will make a difference in terms of the width, and I'll show you that as we go along. So let's make sure the timeline is at the start on this particular software program and play this little homemade video. So watch the preview pane, static, text spoiling the first photograph, second photograph. All these photographs are good quality, by the way, or as good as I can make. Third photograph, looking closer at the monument. And then fourth photograph, look at the black side, that is unforgivable for me, but that's inevitably what happens. Fifth photograph, static as well. Now if you then add some music, you've got a record of your trip, you've got a track you like, and you've got, in this case, a quarter of a video, 5 photographs. What I want to show you is how to take the same 5 photographs. Now for a full video you might need 15 or 20 depending on the length of the music, because it's actually the music that dictates the pace of the video, but your 5 photographs might be 10 or 15. And we're going to show you how to take the same static images and create a very different video. So when you look at that first picture there, I've got the same 5 photographs in the green section. So we're just going to bring this over here, and I haven't got time to show you how to take the text off the front, which is spoiling the photograph. This particular program, it runs underneath, but I've made the text scrolling, which is going to allow the photograph to come through as well as giving you the opportunity to read the text. So let's look at photograph number 1, which has got some zoom on it. So let's just look at that. The same photograph, absolutely the same photograph. So that gives you an idea. I'm not going to run the whole thing, but let's look at this photograph in terms of this particular program. It's under effects and it's called zoom. Now the zoom's already in. All I have done, 2 things. Most importantly, forget the original image. Absolutely forget it. Make sure that you've got the wide aspect, widescreen. In this case it's 16:9, but you want the widescreen image, and it gives you a start point and an end point. You can experiment. So you've got a fantastic straightforward scene here with a long path to the war memorial. It's the way that most people would walk towards it. So you start off with a small picture, this is the bit over here, and you end up with a panoramic picture, albeit it has to drop a little bit at the bottom. Let's just play that first frame out of the 5 in this amateur video. Suddenly we've got a dynamic, almost a video rather than a still photograph. Text isn't interfering with the photograph. You've got loads to watch, loads to take your attention from. Yeah. And then let's look at image 2. Now again I've applied a zoom effect, and I've probably overcooked this, but I've started the image down in the right hand corner, right next to the tree, partly because it's a frosty morning and it's a decent high definition image. I'm not a photographer, I'm just trying to explain that if you put in good high definition photographs, you can zoom far more effectively than you can with something which is, you know, less high definition. So again, make sure you've got your wide aspect ratio, not the original. And we're going from small up to large. So let's just play that frame. What a difference. You couldn't do that with a video camera. And if you did, it might look better in terms of being more realistic, as if the viewer knows that you're there. But it wouldn't be as smooth. It wouldn't have that effect. Now let's immediately, because I want to keep this video as short as possible, and if you want to learn about video making, you can't do it in a YouTube video in 2 minutes, so you're going to have to bear with me. So let's look at the next image. So it happens to be JPEG 9, but we'll look at again, the zoom has already been put in place. Again, widescreen. This time we're coming out, oh sorry, we're starting at for the first time we're starting full frame almost, and we're coming to zoom in on the actual statue. So we'll play that. Again, a static photograph which is brought to life by a little bit of zoom and making sure it's widescreen. And then the next photograph, and hopefully you're getting the sense of what we're doing here. 16.9, whatever your software program, get it widescreen, use a zoom, and we're just going to play around a bit more subtly here because we're forgetting the plinth here. We're just looking at the horse and the man on the top of the horse, which is a guy called Robert the Bruce. If you're from Scotland, that makes sense. If you're not, no worries. So here we go. Again, a static photograph is now dynamic. It's moved around a little bit. That's enough. And then we'll look at the fifth photograph again, zoom. This is one of these photographs that when you're using this bit here, as I explained earlier on, you're going to get a letterbox effect through 90 degrees, big black sides on your video, which nobody wants to see. There's not you would not switch on your television and be prepared to accept that. So let's make sure that you recognise it's got to be widescreen and a portrait type of photograph. Okay, so what we need to do, set the 16.9, because if you left it the original, see the original photograph, if we put it at 16.9, we're suddenly limited as to what we can show. So this photograph is going to, well, let's just change it. So where do you want to start? Start at the bottom or the top? Can't remember the last one. Let's start at the top, okay, and let's finish at the bottom. I'm just messing around here. This isn't necessarily the way I would do it, but if you follow the link at the end, you'll see what the proper finished article in terms of the video looks like. If you look down here, the software is now running through this to process it, and video software takes a fair bit of processing time. I've got a half decent computer, but this is, you know, every single frame. If I'm honest, a 5-minute video takes me 7 or 8 hours to produce, just in terms of the, you know, little bit of tweaking, but the processing time and the upload time. So we're just going to have to wait for that to finish. So while that's been running through, you might as well look at the amateur video at the start. Static text, next photograph. Great photographs, because they're mine, so I won't have any criticism of them. Another photograph. Big black edges. And the final photograph. And then here's the improvement. Now the timing between each of these 5 images will be changed because you're going to synchronize it with your music, which I might do another video to show you how to do that. But at the moment, they're quite long, and they're actually all different in terms of length, but they're synchronized to the music track that I chose. And I'll just stop that there and show you that particular in this program. And that one's 14 seconds, that one's 14 seconds, that one's 16 seconds, that one's 14 seconds. So what you will find is there's a rhythm. Every song's got a beat. Sometimes my introductory image is longer because I want to get the text over. I want the date, the timestamp. You know, I want a little bit of information. What I sometimes find is throughout the entire length of the video, there's a sort of beat, and it's usually around 12, 13, 14 seconds. When I finish the video, suddenly you think, oh my goodness, it's about 7-8 minutes long. I've had to run the track twice. So sometimes it is a case of halving every single image. So you can try that around and experiment with it. So I'm going to finish off here now because I've got a bottle of wine uncorked, and I want to finish with just recapping. Get into videoing. Get yourself a cheap and cheerful video editing software package. Take the best images from your camera, put them into the software, and look for the aspect ratio, look for the zoom, and crucially, once you've done that, you can't do these timings until you choose your music. Now, I've deliberately left out the music because I want this to be copyright free. So when you get to the end of this video, I would like you, just briefly, to follow the little link on this video and nip over and look at the actual video which I produced, which uses the theme tune from the Braveheart movie. And you'll find that the sequences of these 5 photographs is part of a proper video. And suddenly, 5 static photographs with some static text becomes, for me, a really good memory of what I was involved in. I think it was a year ago, 2 years ago. So, hopefully, long-winded because it's wine on the table, but video is all about ensuring that you have software, zoom, aspect ratio. Thanks.